Continuing to learn Hilchos Kriyas HaTorah. This is chus for our Fuhr Shleim for Nachshamer B'Tim Yachai Asar Shlomit. Beginning of Kuf Lamed Hey in Shulchan Aruch, it tells us that, so we know we lane on Mondays and Thursdays, and we three aliyahs. We don't do, Shulchan Aruch says we don't do any less than three, you don't do more than three, we don't do Haftorah, we do 10 psukim is the minimum, except for on Purim day is 9. There's a special exception. But okay, so that's the rule. Now what about, the Ramah says, what happens if you have two guys who are getting married that day, right? And they're both Yisraelim, you have Kohanim and Leviim there, so what do? You have two guys who are making a bris for their son. So what are you supposed to do? So the Ramah says, so you call for, you make extra aliyah, you read a few more psukim, what's the big deal? But Mishnah Berurah already quotes that the Achronim already say, no, we don't do that. But, we leave it in regard, now, how do you decide which chassan and which Baal Bris gets the aliyah? That, highest bidder, I don't know, you have to figure it out, let them fight it out outside, something. You figure it out, right? You have to, that requires Solomonic wisdom. But you gotta figure it out, yeah?
I thought, I've seen here, you have the Kohen walk out. And then you could
right. So, right, sometimes people have the Kohen walk out. And some places, we'll do that sometimes. Rabbi Soloveitchik was not a big fan of that. Didn't like doing that at all. You tell the Kohen to leave, or whatever, the whole thing. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Some places, you do it. But you could have two Kohanim who are getting married that day, right? Or two, so still you're still going to have this issue. But yeah, that is one way out of it, possibly. And then, so the minhag also is to read on Shabbos beforehand the same reading that you're going to have on Monday and Thursday, all the three aliyos, as the way that it's written. We have in the back of the Siddur and the way it's broken up. But the truth is, even there, if you read it the wrong way, you didn't break it up exactly the way it's supposed to be broken up. Whatever. As long as each aliyah has 3 psukim and you have a minimum of 10 between the 3 aliyahs, and then you're okay. And that's fine. There's actually interesting machlokas between the Achronim. The Mishnah Berurah quotes that in the Piskei Tshuva find the different approaches. What did you do if you read the whole wrong parsha? Right? You just missed it. Especially this time of year, you could see you doing it because we keep reading Shmini over and over and over again. You get confused, what you're supposed to be reading. So it seems machlokas whether or not. The point is just you got to make sure that you have Torah every 3 days. Okay, so you read the Torah, so you read the wrong parsha. Okay, but at least you read your 3 aliyahs and 10 psukim. And others say no, it's got to be. We're connected to the upcoming parsha, and therefore it's important. However, everyone agrees. What happens if you miss? Right. Let's say you miss Monday morning, the shul wasn't able to read or whatever. You have a group of people who are not able to read. An individual even misses. So what happens? What do you do? So you try to make it up still later that day. In fact, Rabbi Soloveitchik himself used to come in from Boston to New York every Monday, and he would leave every Thursday to go back home to Boston. So he would always miss the Monday morning laning in the afternoon. And when the shir was over, the guys would get together and they'd put together a minyan and they would lane. This happens to me sometimes when I go to one of these rabbi conferences. We'll have, a bunch of us are coming in on a Monday morning, a Monday afternoon Mincha. There's a whole group of people, and so we do the laning. However, if you miss completely Monday and that's it, so you don't get together and lane on Tuesday, and you don't lane double on Thursday or anything like that, as opposed to what the Shulchan Aruch says, what happens if you have a community, Mishnah Berurah brings it up, what happens if, the Ramah says, what happens if you miss a whole Shabbos? Right? The Mishnah Berurah assumes what happened. He says some kind of fight. Right? Some kind of fight broke out in shul. People left. There was no minyan. The Baal Koreh left in a huff. I don't know. Something happened. Right? There's some kind of fight, and they couldn't get it together. If they can get it together by the afternoon, so of course then you lane throughout the day. Still, you could do that, just like on Monday or Thursday. What happens if you didn't? A whole Shabbos, you missed the whole parsha of the Torah. What do? You lane it the next week. You double it up. Sometimes you could really double it up. We got a bunch of double parshas in a row. You could have quadruple parshas, right? We really messed up. But that's what you do. You make it extra. So that's a way to. However, most seem to agree that Vilna Gaon says that if you missed multiple parshios, you don't. If it happens for a couple weeks in a row, they really can't get it together. It keeps fighting and things going on. You just read the one parsha. It's not like it just keeps multiplying. And you missed the parsha before, so that's the one you make up. Just like with Tashlumin for Shmoneh Esrei, right? You missed the Shachars. What do? You do 2 minchas. When it comes to Marv and you miss Shachars and Mincha, you don't do 3 Marvs. That's not. It's only the one that comes before. Okay.